That adjusted real quick. Hey there, everyone. Meteorologist Shane Smith here. Saturday, January 24th. And it's a mess out there, my friends. We have got a nasty little winter storm ongoing across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Let me know where you're joining us from tonight. We'll probably go about 30 minutes to an hour. But we do have some new data in. I wanted to talk about it, talk about the increasing ice totals. Um, if you've been watching my feeds throughout the day, you notice those ice totals have climbed higher. Not a fan of that. I'm a little concerned about that. Someone may actually get thunder snow or thunder sleet tonight or thunder freezing rain. Um, Shane Stamper reporting sleet and freezing rain in Hazard. I know we've got a little of both here in London. Sleet and freezing rain in Rowdy from Anthony Campbell over in Perry County. Had about 2 inches of snow on the ground here at my house just south of London before we swapped it over to sleet. And then we quickly went over to freezing rain. Still got a kind of a mix of sleet and freezing rain right now. Light freezing rain in Corbin. Let me broaden out the picture, let you see what's going on. Kind of just how huge this storm is. We ain't done by a long shot, friends. We still got about another 24 hours in this thing. And it's kind of wild because it is 21 degrees right now at the London Corbin Airport, and we are getting freezing rain. Crystal Young reporting inch and a half of snow in Corbin, sleet and freezing rain now going down on top of it. Sleet and freezing rain in Viper from Deborah K. Cottle. Light sleet in Stanford from Chris Tindall. Thank you guys for all the reports. Jennifer asking more snow for us here in London and Corbin. Jennifer, yes, but it's going to be tomorrow night. Saw somebody asking about Johnson County. Hang on one second. I'm trying to scroll back. I'm getting a lot of messages in, guys, so bear with me. And my system is chugging. What are you thinking for ice in Johnson County? Still snowing there. Danielle, where Johnson County is a little farther north. It's going to be a couple more hours before you guys transition over to the sleet and the freezing rain, which is good news for y'all. Trying to scroll down and see these messages. 2 inches of snow down in Duffield, Virginia, to just down the road for me in London. Thank you, Tyler. Maria Roark asking, will the plain rain tomorrow refreeze? Yes, there is a chance we get plain rain. Yes, there is a chance it will freeze. I'm not even convinced, even though we go above freezing, that it's going to be just plain rain because the ground is frozen right now. Kelly Yance asking, is the dry air that's showing up on the radar a sign that we may be getting less freezing rain and ice? Okay. Yes and no. So, yes, in the sense that we're not going to see as much precipitation for a little bit. No, in the fact that it's not going to completely turn off. And that next impulse of energy is building across the desert southwest right now. And it will eventually eject up towards eastern Kentucky tomorrow. So that's why we've still got the prolonged freezing rain event. Chris Tindall asking, could this get upgraded to an ice storm warning? I've got to check the criteria for that. I don't know if it's an inch or 3/4 of an inch for eastern Kentucky for an ice storm warning. If it's an inch, probably not. If it's 3/4 of an inch, maybe, but there's a pretty good chance I think the Weather Service is just going to roll with the winter storm warning because it also does incorporate ice into that. John Epley asking about ice in the Lexington area. A little bit. Lexington and the I-64 corridor, I think, is going to be the dividing line between who stays mainly snow and who gets the mix. I don't know exactly how far north that's going to go just yet. Matthew Hacker asking how far north will the plane rain reach. We're going to take a look at some of the future modeling in just a second to try to answer that. We've got all our weather cams pulled up, and they are all snowy. It looks like Moorhead may be struggling a little bit. Let me see if I can get it refired. Yeah, it is. It's an icy night out there, friends. I am hearing reports from road crews that it's bad out there. There we go. Moorhead finally refreshed. I've got so much going right now that my Mac, which normally runs immaculately, is struggling. That's how much I've got pulled up right now. Summer, there is going to be at least the smallest chance of some ice in Owensboro, but I think you guys still mainly see snow. Yeah, Christian, definitely going to be ice in Corbin. Sandra, pink and orange in Texas on the winter radar. Let me pop that back up. So the pink is more in the line of sleet. The orange is more in the line of freezing rain. So mess is what it stands for. So the orange is sleet, the pink is freezing rain. All right, so winter storm warnings remain in effect for pretty much the entire state of Kentucky. We also now, just to point out for the record, have extreme cold watches for eastern Kentucky, cold weather advisories for northern and western Kentucky because of the temperature drop on the back side of the system. And you go down into Knoxville and down I-40 and down I-75 towards Chattanooga. Ice storm warnings, some winter weather advisories along the Smokies. But they are going to see more ice down in Knoxville. Yeah, Sandra, you're probably getting sleet right now down your way. If you hear it and it's got kind of like a pinging sound, it's sleet. Okay. Snow forecast, I've not tweaked. I think we're going to end up on the low side, south of I-64. But I think the ranges are still okay. And I know London's probably saying, Shane, how do we get into 3 inches of snow? We barely got 2 and we're getting ready to go ice. We may put another inch or so down on top of it tomorrow night. So storm total of 3 inches. We just may never have 3 on the ground at any given point. Corbin, you've already verified you've got to 2, or at least I've heard some spots in Corbin have got to 2. This is the part that's worrying me, though. I had to completely throw the old map out and redo this one today. Freezing rain forecast. So let's break it down. Cumberland Valley, I am going a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That's pretty much London over towards Glasgow. The model data shifted a little farther west, a little farther north. That brought the warm nose farther west and north. That's actually why I cut down the freezing rain a little bit in far eastern Kentucky. You guys will likely go to just plain Jane rain some tomorrow afternoon. We're going to take a look at the future forecast models here in just a minute. And once again, if you're just joining us, meteorologist Shane Smith here. We're talking about the freezing rain threat for southeast Kentucky and southern Kentucky for Sunday the 25th. Like and share this video so folks can know what to expect. This could be a crippling ice storm, and I don't say that to cause a panic. I say that because that is a legitimate concern of mine right now. If we get an inch of ice in the Cumberland Valley, expect widespread power outages. Period. End of discussion. You could start seeing power outages with a 1/4 inch of freezing rain. Some of the model data is going much higher than that. Out into the lighter purple shade, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. That includes portions of Knox County, over into Bell and Harlan County, up to Perry County, up towards Mount Vernon, back over towards Danville, down towards Columbia, Bowling Green. You get into the darker pink, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, and the light pink up to a 1/4 inch. There's going to be a very sharp cutoff, though, from where we go freezing rain to just sleet and snow. I've thrown the sleet forecast out at this point because, honestly, it doesn't matter much. It'll get mixed in with the snow more than anything, and it's not going to cause as many problems. It'll cut back on snow totals. That's the big thing it will do. Yeah, so Melissa, and this has always been a 2-part storm. I just don't know that we did a good enough job billing it as such. And yeah, Loretta, there is a chance you absolutely go to 38 degrees tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that model here in just a second. Let me get it pulled up and ready, and we'll kind of break down how this is going to go. We're going to get a little sciencey, folks, so I'm going to try to walk y'all through it the best I can. Okay, so here's what I have pulled up right now. I have the high resolution rapid refresh model. This is the best short range high resolution model we have to work with and look at. One small bias of this model that I'm just going to go ahead and put out there up front, it has a very similar physics package to the old NAM models, so it does sometimes overestimate warm air advection. That means it may pull a little bit too far north. Sorry, my Eastern Kentucky came out there just a little bit. But yeah, it can pull that warmer air a little too far to the north sometimes. So, and I've got some extra lines on this map. So you may notice the red line here. That is the freezing line at 5,000 feet in the air. That's important when we start talking about precipitation type, and we're going to get into that in just a second. And down here to the south, you're going to notice this kind of neon blue line. That's the freezing line at the ground. So that's 32 degrees, 2 meters off the ground. So about roughly 6 feet up in the air. Just so we kind of understand what we're looking at. So why is this important? Well, what we're looking at is that pocket of air between here and the ground at about 5,000 feet above our heads. Because that's where things get messy when it comes to precipitation type. Everything up top right now is falling down as snow. But when it hits that warm nose of air, you've probably heard a lot of meteorologists talking about this the last couple of days, that warm nose. There is a pocket of air right now somewhere above our head, a couple hundred feet off the ground, maybe a couple thousand feet, somewhere up around 1,000 feet to 5,000 feet, where the air has went above freezing. So that snow falls and hits that warm air. Well, what happens when snow hits air above 32 degrees? Sorry, the teacher in me is coming out for a second. It's going to melt, right? Those ice crystals are going to melt, turn to raindrops. Well, those raindrops fall down, but then it hits another pocket of air just above the surface that's below freezing. If it's got enough time, that water droplet will refreeze into an ice pellet. That's what we call sleet. Or remains liquid and then hits a frozen ground or a ground that has a temperature below freezing and turns into freezing rain. So that's the difference between snow, sleet, freezing rain. And one thing I'm going to note is even though the air temperature may go above freezing tomorrow, I'm worried about the surface temperature. because that is going to be super important. Even if the air temperature is above freezing, if the water is hitting a frozen surface and that surface is below freezing, it will freeze. Okay, so weather lesson over. Let's talk about how this goes into the future. So this is what the radar should look like about 10 o'clock tonight. We will compare real quick just to see how it's doing, because we always want to see how our model data initializes on these. So there's what the future radar should look like in 15 minutes. Here's what it's looking like right now. So it's picking up on some of the gaps in the precipitation, but not a lot. So it may be overdoing precip a little bit. Just something to note. Okay, let's take you into the future. Here we are at midnight. By midnight, the freezing line at 5,000 feet up in the air should be somewhere around Patesville. But here at the surface, we're still going to be 18 degrees Berea, 21 degrees London, 24 degrees Hazard, 21 degrees Columbia, 19 in Bowling Green, and 25 in Williamsburg. So even though we are so far below freezing, that pocket is going to be so shallow, that cold air, that it's just going to not have time to it's either going to refreeze as sleet and hit the ground, or if the pocket is too shallow, it comes down as freezing rain. Sleet does not stick to power lines as well as freezing rain does. So at this point, with everything we are looking at, you'll want to be rooting for sleet, because more sleet means less freezing rain. Less freezing rain means less chance of a power outage. We're going to get the old donut out. I saw Sandra just mention the donut. So I don't have a sprinkles donut, but sleet is like sprinkles hitting. They bounce. They don't stick. The glaze sticks. Freezing rain sticks on like the glaze of a donut. First time I've ever licked a donut on air before. Okay. So, at midnight, this is what the radar should look like. This is what the temperature should look like. We are likely going to see in the purple there, from Paintsville to Berea to E-Town to Madisonville to Paducah, sleet. North of that, snow. South of that, freezing rain. The pink is freezing rain. Ugh. That's all I got to say to that. Let's take you further into the future. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Notice now we may start to see, especially in far southeast Kentucky, the temperature go above zero at the surface. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. That's going to be the big question mark. But you'll notice places like London, Columbia, Bowling Green, E-Town, Moorhead, all in the freezing rain mode at this point. Sarah Berry asking, is it better or worse to be at 25 in Williamsburg? Sarah, it's not the 25 is the problem, it's where the 25 is happening. We want that 25 to be about 1,000 feet above our heads, so it's got time to refreeze and turn to sleet. Right now, I don't think it's that high. I think that we've got a really, really shallow cold pocket right now. All right, so let's take you more into the future. Here's 6 a.m. So Williamsburg, you're going to be right on that dividing line. A lot of this in eastern Kentucky, in the mountains of eastern Kentucky, two things these models are going to struggle with. One, You're going to get some kind of weird cold air damming going on. So the valleys up in those mountains are probably going to stay freezing rain and stay colder than what the models are showing. Two, you're going to get a little bit of downsloping with some of the winds. That's going to warm things up. So it may actually get warm enough just to go plain rain on the northwest facing slopes on some of these mountains. It's going to be weird tomorrow, friends, over in eastern Kentucky. Like, you're going to see some crazy mesoscale meteorology going on tomorrow. At 8 o'clock, notice we are just flat pouring the snow from Maysville back to Covington to Louisville, Owensboro, right along the Ohio River. That is when the heaviest of the snow in northern Kentucky is going to fall. Sarah, to answer your question about will the rain clear things up, I do not know. Theoretically, if we saw enough rain, could it maybe melt everything off? Yes, but then we just get a ton of standing water that refreezes. If it doesn't melt everything off, and I don't think it's going to melt everything off because this was a pretty dry snow, so it's probably going to recrystallize some. I think we're just going to end up with just a slushy mess out of this. And I do think that the surface is cold enough. I mean, we were down 15 degrees this morning. That surface stuff is cold. I can tell you, I went out and checked the windshield on the truck a little while ago. Like, everything liquid that's falling is freezing quickly. So those surfaces are cold. So here we go now. We're at 10 a.m. The cold air is starting to push back. You'll notice Pikeville, you're probably back below freezing, so we're all in freezing rain at that point. Hazard, Williamsburg, you're going to be right on the dividing line. See a little surge in warm air there around 11 a.m. as that low pressure gets closer. This, if we're going to just have plain Jane rain tomorrow, it's going to be between noon and about 3 or 4 o'clock before that low finally swings east and we go on a northwesterly wind and start wrapping that cold air back in. Let me switch that real quick just so we can go a little further into the future. We should be back over to all snow just after dark tomorrow. And then, even though the models aren't doing the best job showing it, some of that data is loading. I think we could kick up a little upslope snow tomorrow night into Monday morning. So, let me pop back over here. Yeah, the problem is we're not going to stay above freezing very long. And the question is, how much does it stick, even if it is plain rain? There's going to be some crazy physics going on tomorrow, friends. I think the harder that it rains, it will stick less. You want more of like a misty rain for it to stick. Curtis, depends on where you're at. So right now, let me pull the old radar back up. If you are south of the Mountain Parkway or the Bluegrass Parkway, you've got a couple more hours before it's all sleet. If you're Lexington North, it's going to be sometime tomorrow early morning before we change things over. Down south of the Highway 80 corridor, we're all sleet and freezing rain from here. So Curtis, you're here in London with me. Last I looked, I'll pop out the door and look right now. We were sleet and freezing rain mix. Let's see what it's doing right now. Uno momento. A little freezing rain, a little freezing drizzle. We got about 2 inches of snow on the back patio. What about West Virginia, Ohio Valley? Hang on, I can show you that real quick. Just 1 second. Switching up a couple maps to show you how things are looking for the snow and the freezing rain. All right, let me sorry. Producing on the fly here, and the computer she's on the struggle bus. Okay. So here is additional snowfall on top of what we've already got. Let me pop this full screen. So London, maybe 1 inch tomorrow night. Williamsburg, maybe a 1/2 inch. Hazard, maybe an additional inch tomorrow night. Richmond, 2 to 3 inches. Bowling Green, 2 to 3 inches. Paducah, you still got about 8 inches to go. Mayfield, another 2 inches. Louisville, an additional 13 to 14 inches. Same story up near Cincinnati. That's snow. West Virginia, you get north of Charleston, 1/2 foot plus. Down in the coal fields, inch or two. As far as freezing rain, on top of what's already fallen, 1/2 inch Bowling Green, or excuse me, that's Hopkinsville. 0.8 of an inch Bowling Green. Ugh, I hope that is not what we see. Oh, just got some new data in. 3/4 of an inch London, Richmond, Jackson, 1/2 an inch. Pikeville, you notice here where that gap is, that's where they're expecting that warm nose to really punch in and cut back on the freezing rain and actually get just plain rain. Tyler County, is that Tyler County in West Virginia? I am not familiar with that, but let me look real quick. Oh, whoops. Tyler County. Oh, that's up near the Panhandle. Okay. So, yeah, Tyler County, West Virginia. You're looking not much in the way of freezing rain, but in the way of snow, about 6 to 8 inches. Rough guess. Without knowing, I know southern West Virginia a lot better than I know northern West Virginia. Spent 4 years forecasting down out of Beckley and Bluefield. No kill. Williamson, West Virginia, probably about 2 inches of additional snow and up to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain. Hazard's new freezing rain total. Hang on, I will pop that up. Hazard about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on the latest HRRR model. Okay. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to get to all the comments. A lot of folks are coming in. What's Lexington, Nicholasville looking like? Right now, Lexington and Nicholasville both are mainly snow autumn. They will transition to sleet here in a few hours. So if you all have other questions or other spots you want me to look into or check out for you, I'm happy to do that. Just post them up in the comments. It is 10 o'clock. You're just joining us. This is Meteorologist Shane Smith. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm based out of London, Kentucky. Been a broadcast meteorologist since 2008. So coming up on 20 years of experience, and happy to talk weather, focus mainly on Kentucky, but I'll cover anywhere, try to give you the best forecast I can. How much freezing rain for Floyd County now? Floyd County, I've got in that half inch to 3/4 of an inch, Ruby. Jackson County, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. Aaron, yeah, we could see up to an inch of freezing rain here in London. Hueyville, new totals for snow and freezing rain. 1 second, and I'll pull that up. All right, Hughesville. Oh, that's over off 80 by Garrett. Okay, over on the not Floyd line. So I have got Hueysville right now. Let me swap over to this. Make sure I'm on that. As far as additional snow over that way, probably about an inch or two more snow, and about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain. Pineville is going to be tricky. Yeah, Jonathan Johnson. So yeah, that is full on. That's full on freezing rain right now down in the bowl in Middlesboro. Freezing rain doesn't feel any different than plain rain. The difference is when it hits something, it freezes. So if you're like out walking in it, it's going to feel like rain. More snow for Pikeville tonight. Austin, the snow should be wrapping up soon, buddy. We're probably going over to sleet here in the next couple hours, if it's not already sleeting there. How much freezing rain in McGoffin County, up in the land of Bailey and Caldwell? We are looking, Jonathan, probably about a half inch or so, or up to a half inch up in McGoffin County. Jason, Pineville is probably going to pick up another half inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe even more. The question I have down in like Pineville, Middlesboro, Whitesburg, Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, pretty much like from the Highway 80 corridor south, is do we get warm enough to actually start melting everything off and get rid of freezing rain and just go to plain rain and melt all this off? How much ice in Perry County? About 3/4 of an inch ish is what I'm going with right now, Keith. Katie, yes. Jackson County or Jackson City and Breathitt County? Jackson County, probably going to be 3/4 to an inch of freezing rain. Jackson City over in Breathitt County, probably a half inch to 3/4 of an inch. Let me pull up. There's the ice map. All right. Question about pine knot. Let's see. Over in McCreary County. Y'all, if it's the pine knot over in McCreary County, y'all going to be in the ice. 3/4 of an inch to an inch is what I'm forecasting right now. Ruby, Chris knows what he's talking about. I've learned a lot from him. I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with him many times. Dude knows his stuff. So if he's saying it, I would definitely pay heed to it. Jonathan, I don't think we'll quite get to the 40 mark, but let me. I'm going to show you what some of the modeling is showing. Let me back it up. Well, it's possible on a downslope. It is entirely possible. The HRRR, now notice it's got a bad habit of overdoing warm air advection. Let's throw in the Euro just for maybe a little bit more of a reasonable solution. Just give this a second to load up. European model is showing mid to upper 30s. I can buy mid to upper 30s a lot more than I can low 40s. Is it possible we go low 40s? Absolutely. But I wouldn't count on it. That's going to have to be some pretty strong warm air advection. It's all going to depend on how strong that low is coming out of the southwest. If it's strong enough, certainly possible. Marjorie Dopel saying some sleet down in Whitley County. E-Town just a glaze of ice. Yeah, I've got E-Town on that up to a 1/4 inch line. So maybe a thick glaze, but yeah. We might be talking like messy Krispy Kreme thickness of glaze in E-Town. Just not as delicious. A lot more terrifying. Hashtag not sponsored, but Krispy Kreme, if you wanna sponsor this forecast, hook me up. I'm always down for a partnership. Let me pop the radar back up. We'll take a look at what's going on out there right now. We'll actually switch over to single site mode and just kind of tour around the state. Also pull up those temperatures and see what it's doing. So we're going to start off over at the Jackson Weather Service office. Load it up. So there are some breaks in the precipitation. Like I know right now here in London, it's not as heavy, but you like go down towards Corbin and Williamsburg. There's some heavier stuff going on, and especially where those brighter colors are showing up, that's more likely sleet than freezing rain. Pikeville still showing mainly snow for y'all. Let me know what it's doing. 19 degrees there, 18 up near Prestonsburg. Some snow ongoing. Same story over towards Salyersville. Lexington Metro. Y'all got snow right now. We'll switch her over to the Louisville radar site. Take a look up here. Actually, we'll go to Louisville will work. Got pretty good snow west of Lexington up towards Dry Ridge and Crenton. E-Town's got a little moderate band. Some lighter snow back in western Kentucky. They are seeing a bit of a break right now, especially in southwest Kentucky, thanks to that dry slot. Owensboro, some moderate snow. Henderson, a little light flurry action. Paducah seeing a pretty good little squall right now, according to the Fort Campbell radar. Let's see how it's looking from Paducah. And we go out to the big picture. Switch that back to winter mode. It's snow here. It's supposed to rain tomorrow for Pikeville. So, Austin, you will see some snow tonight, and then change over to sleet and freezing rain, and probably some plain rain tomorrow, late morning or early afternoon in Pikeville. But we still got a lot of moisture to go, friends. Especially down when this reloads, all this going on right now. Down in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, like we got a lot of moisture to stream through here. This is a wet system. Jarrett, batten down the hatches, brother. Looks like several hours of sleet and freezing rain tonight. Be good out there. Be safe. Trying to clean this mess up. Tara Hawkinsmith in Somerset asking, we are mainly going to be seeing sleet and freezing rain overnight in Somerset. Once we go over to this all freezing rain, y'all may go 3/4 to an inch of freezing rain. I expect the freezing rain to be heavy in Pulaski County. Thanks again to everybody who's joined us. If you enjoy what I'm doing, like and subscribes are super helpful. Shares are incredibly helpful just to get the word out about what we're doing. And then stars on Facebook are incredibly beneficial. And we're hoping to soon have a super chat available on YouTube. Just got to get a couple hundred more subscribers, so we're working towards that. What is our weather for Rockcastle in Livingston? Penny Wilhoit asking. Penny, we are going to see sleet and freezing rain for the rest of the night. It's going to eventually just go over to all freezing rain through Sunday morning. We may mix in a little bit of plain rain in the afternoon there along the Rockcastle River. I don't think it's going to be much. Then we go back to a little bit of light snow tomorrow night. Floyd County, Prestonsburg. Yeah, chances of a legitimate ice storm. Up to a ½ inch of ice over there possible. Peaburg and Paintsville both have the chance, though, of warming up enough that it may not be as bad. We're going to just have to wait and see. Freezing rain, Hueysville over in Perry County. Should be within the next couple hours, Rhoda. If it's not freezing rain there, here in 2 or 3 hours, it'll definitely pick up. I also look for that dry slot on the radar to start filling back in a little bit, because notice we're starting to get a pretty good fetch of moisture off the Gulf. So I think that where that first low is kind of dying on out, and then we'll just wait and see what this next low does. Yes, Austin, I will be posting updates tomorrow. As long as we keep power and internet. Please, Jesus. As long as I've got a way to communicate, I will communicate. Yeah, it's probably getting ready to pick back up. Atten Woodsman over on YouTube saying it's starting to pick back up where he's at. Blake David says Logan Sams is my hero. He's mine too, Blake. Logan's a good dude. So once again, if you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith, and we've got a wintry mess. Look at that E-Town camera. It is iced over. So is Jenkins. Whoa. Yeah, that is some legit freezing rain right now in E-Town and Jenkins. You're not going to get that in just um, plain snow usually. So that's two spots with some pretty heavy freezing rain, or at least some freezing rain going on right now. Elsewhere, snow and sleet. Maybe the name was onto something. We will wait and see. Hey, Karsten, good seeing you. Raylan Salmon's asking about Floyd County. Floyd County probably heading for a quarter to half inch, maybe a little bit more freezing rain tonight. Let me pop up that freezing rain outlook. I've got Floyd County right in that quarter to half inch to 3/4 inch dividing line. So about a half inch of freezing rain tonight, I would say, or tonight through early Sunday by midday. I'm still very interested to see how the temperatures play out tomorrow afternoon. Like how much warm air do we punch into this system? Let me see if I pause that, if I can get the. I'm going to try something real quick, folks, see if I can get the temperatures down across the south to pop up right now. So yeah, like right now the freezing line at the surface is there in like southeast Tennessee, like just north of Chattanooga. Let me see if I can just swap that to temperature so it's a little easier for y'all to read. There we go. So that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow, is like how far north does this warm air that's down here punch this way? And when does it get here? That's the big question for me. All right, so yeah, maybe a little overcooked. We will see. Oh, hang on. Let me show you all what I was looking at. Here we go. So this is what I'm tracking right now. This is the temperatures down in Tennessee, northern Alabama, northern Georgia. And that's the big thing I'm going to be watching tomorrow, is when does this warmer air at the surface, how far north does it come, and how long does it stick around? Because that is going to be the big question for just how bad it gets. If it's slow and it doesn't get here, we're in trouble. If it gets here, it may cut back on the freezing rain, and we may actually just go plain rain. I don't know if it'll be enough to wash everything off. That's a tall ask, but we shall see. This has been such a weird setup. Hashtag not a fan. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Give me all snow instead of this mess. Yeah, we want that warm air to punch in to get things changed over. We don't want to sit in freezing rain for 18 hours straight. That would be bad. All right, well, we're starting to wind things down here. Does anybody have any final questions? I'll take a few final questions and we'll start wrapping things up. It's icy out there in a few spots already. Reminder that winter storm warning does continue through Monday. We now have cold weather warnings behind it. Let me pop that up because I do want to mention that. This is why we don't want power outages, because Monday morning the low is going to be 8, the high is going to be 16. Tuesday morning, now forecasting a low of 6 below zero. That is not the wind chill. Wind chills will be going 20 below zero. And then maybe a little light snow extra Wednesday night into Thursday. And then we got to watch next weekend. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Let's get through this first one, then we'll look and see what Mother Nature is going to load up and throw at us next. It's an active winter pattern, my friends. I'll just say that. Jonathan Johnson asking about extra fluffiness possibly falling. Let's see what we can hook you up with, my friend. Got the old European model pulled up. Here we go, Sunday evening. The Euro likes your chances for some upslope. Maybe a couple hours of some light snow Sunday night into Monday morning. I don't think we have any chance of school Monday or Tuesday, though, across most of southern and eastern Kentucky. It's really just going to depend on that ice, how bad it is, and power outages and all that. And then, Wednesday night, here's our next system. Another little clipper diving down. That looks like it could produce a couple of inches. Maybe another little impulse Friday. We'll see. Let's see what some of the other modeling's showing real quick for the Canadian's been on such a hot streak lately. I'm curious how it's playing the overnight out. So it switches this over to freezing rain or plain rain around 1. Whoops. That's tomorrow afternoon. And then gets it out of here by 7 o'clock. So that HRRR is super aggressive about getting that warm air in here, although that is a bias of its. Yep, we're going to need some luck trying to do all right with this one. It's going to be this one's got the potential to be pretty nasty overnight. So we shall wait and see how it all plays out. All right, well, friends, we are coming up on 10:25. Been at it almost an hour. We have a final call for questions. Anybody else want to get their question in? There is the freezing rain forecast. Snow forecast I haven't tweaked in a bit, but I am pretty sure it is. It's going to be on the low end. That's okay. I'm going to have to get me a chat bot to patrol YouTube, it looks like. Good times. I've hit that level. All right, y'all. Well, that is going to do it for tonight. I will have updates on Facebook and X tomorrow. Good Lord willing, and the power stays on, and we don't lose internet. So as long as I've got a way to communicate, I'll keep telling y'all what I am seeing. At this point, folks, just hope we don't get too much ice. But that glaze is already happening on a lot of those cameras. That's not good. Okay, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Meteorologist Shane Smith. If you liked this live stream and enjoy talking Kentucky weather, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out a whole lot. And we will give you more updates as they become available. Take care. Stay weather aware. I'll see y'all next time.